Good morning, world. It's your girl, Dominique Spinelli, and let me tell you, on today, this dress is wearing me. It's wearing your girl out. Let me show you this dress. I thrifted it. Guess how much I paid for it? Wanna know? I paid less than $5 for this dress. Nice material, nice sleeves. The mother lover is wearing me, okay? I know when to choose a dress when it looks like somebody's wearing it when it's on the hanger. If it has shape while it's on a hanger, when you put it on, what you think it's gonna look like? And I have not missed with that theory yet, okay? So, a little fun theory there. Also, I popped that pink back in my crease. I love that pink. I just love that pink. I'm giving you little tips and tricks. You can use them, you can abuse them, or you can ignore them, whatever, but it don't stop me. Ugh, I'm all tangled up. Today, I am going to meet Dan Jones. Yes, CNN's Dan Jones at UTM. And I'm excited. I hadn't thought that I was actually going to get to go. And then come to find out, look at God. I said, yeah, I got to be there. And I've come to recognize when that happens. When I look at something, I'm like, oh, I'm probably not going to get to do it. Or I start to, just brush it off. If he wants me there, it comes back around. That's how I got to passion. And passion changed my life. I'm just saying. So who knows what Dan Jones is going to do, okay? He's going to say something I need to hear. And if I start crying, just leave me alone. I'm in touch with my emotions. I cry so much now, y'all. Me, 5-6 years ago, I didn't cry enough. Now, I cry over everything and nothing all at the same time. And the good news is I'm in touch, so I understand that they don't have to be sad tears to just release, to be a release. And to be honest, I be happy when I start crying because I'm like, yes, I'm in tune with me. The best is when you're crying, you're like, I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm not sad. Those are my favorite kind of tears. Let's lay this news down, you dig? Channel 7 reports 2 people were found dead on West Cherry Street in Milan Monday. The TBI responded to investigate the house fire. District Attorney Frederick Agee requested TBI special agents investigating the deaths of 2 individuals found in the home. The investigation is ongoing. I might cut that because that was a copy and paste job I didn't do, and something about that didn't make sense. The TBI responded to investigate the house fire. Well, the loudest statements are in the words we don't say. State legislature will gather this morning to discuss several topics for consideration. Amongst those are Governor Bill Lee's focus on current vouchers and pushing for more in the year to come. State Representative Tandy Darby tells Thunderbolt News his feelings on the proposed vouchers.
But I don't see the benefit, especially in our part of the world. We don't even have a private school and that takes vouchers, a private school that takes vouchers. And, our tax money is going to support, and I don't care how they cut it, it's going to support kids that were already in private schools, that parents have made the decision to send their kids to private schools. I just don't think that a handout is the way to go. I think that money ought to be going to public schools because, let's face it, we're always going to have public schools. And when you start shortchanging them or not giving the money there that they need to operate, we're starting to set a bad precedent here, and there's no way that you can fund 2 platforms.
Representative Darby goes on. Representative Darby goes on to say that though he and the governor have opposing views on the topic, there are other items they agree on.
Invited to anything, and it's one of those things there that the guy with the gold makes the rules, and let's face it, he's got a pretty good grip on the gold in the state there. He's the governor, and like I said, I don't like to disagree with, especially with him on things, but this is something here that I said 6 years ago that I was going to support, that I was not going to be supportive of the vouchers, and that's why I'm sticking to it. And I hope that maybe they have a change of heart there and see that maybe the votes are not in the same place that they were last year, but like I said, we'll see how it goes.
Okay, let me just boost the sound on these. I'm going to delete that first story out of here completely. I'd rather have a story that's a little old than one that doesn't make enough sense. Okay. After multiple weeks without a grand prize ticket being sold, the Mega Millions lottery jackpot continues to rise. Tonight's drawing has now grown to $395 million. A single ticket matching all 6 numbers could choose to take the cash option payout of $183.3 million before taxes. I just love reading that money news. I ain't lying. Okay. Bethel University has announced 3 Bethel University has announced 3 strategic leadership appointments that will further strengthen Bethel's mission and distinctive extracurricular experiences. They include Garrett Burns, who has been appointed chaplain and director of strategic initiatives. Sheila Horn has been appointed as Bethel University's director of university admissions. And Dr. C. Scott Shepard has been appointed interim executive director of the Renaissance Performing Arts Experience. The release states each of the leaders brings experience and dedication that will help move Bethel University into its next season of growth and impact. Five new Office of Homeland Security agents received their badges last week. In a graduation ceremony at the state capitol, Department of Safety and Homeland Security Commissioner Jeff Long and Tennessee Office of Homeland Security Deputy Commissioner Greg Mays presented the new agents their badges. They will each serve in a portion of Homeland Safety's 4 regions: East, West, Middle, North, and Middle South. The East, West, and Middle South Tennessee regions will gain 1 agent per region, while 2 will be stationed in Middle North Tennessee. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports a do not drive warning has been issued for thousands of Chryslers, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles that still have unrepaired Takata airbags. Takata. The defective airbags have been at the center of a massive recall that has affected tens of millions of vehicles in the U.S. About 225,000 vehicles are impacted by the latest do not drive warning. A full list of vehicle names and years can be found on the NHTSA website. Currently, 28 deaths and at least 400 people have been injured by defective Takata airbags that have exploded in the U.S. The NHTSA advises anyone with an impacted vehicle not to drive it until the airbags have been replaced. The repair can be done for free at a manufacturer's dealership. Kentucky's spring wildfire hazard season is now in effect until April 30th. The Division of Forestry says the typical highest wildfire occurrences are in the months of March and April. The Forestry Division responds to more than 1,000 wildfires annually, with 517 reported last year during the March and April period. During the spring wildfire, I don't know why I added an extra D in there. It's because I'm thinking about pancakes. Cracker Barrel pancakes. Oh, Dom, focus. Okay. During the spring wildfire hazard season, burning is prohibited between the daylight hours of 6 to 6 within 150 feet of any woodland or brushland. Reports said arson accounts for more than half of Kentucky wildfires, with the burning of debris the second largest leading cause. A long-standing historical marker in Fulton is now getting a new life and a different location. Fulton Tourism Director Kenny Etherton told Thunderbolt News about a tip that helped save the historical monument.
It is one of the bronze historical markers Kentucky Historical Society and the Kentucky Heritage Council takes care of and oversees. I was driving one morning listening to Paul and Steve on the radio, and Paul happened to notice this monument. And so I went by and I looked at it. He mentioned about the state of disrepair that it was in. You couldn't read it, those kind of things. So I went by and looked at it, and I thought, let me see what I can do about this. So I got a hold of the Kentucky Heritage Council, sent them pictures of it. This started back in November, maybe, and it just happened to be about the time that they were reviewing markers across the Commonwealth to replace them, and they only replace so many a year. And so I sent them a picture and got on their list. They reviewed it. Late Friday afternoon, I got notice that they were going to replace that historical marker.
Due to its historical significance about the area, Etherton said he requested the marker be made more accessible to the public.
In my request, I talked about moving it because this marker is located at 3Ks at the intersection behind the stop sign and the road signs and all that, so it's really kind of hard to see. One of those things I've drove by 1,000 times in my life. And, knew it was there, but never really looked at it or even stopped to read it. So I took some pictures of it and I read it. It talks about the history of Cherokee Indians and the land here that was given to make this part of the Commonwealth. So we asked for it to be moved to Pontotoc because it applies to Kentucky and Tennessee to where it can be seen. So they approved the move of it. My request to them by email was to put it somewhere around our Twin Cities sign that crosses the state line in an area of the town where people walk, that come to visit. And it tells a historical story of our area.
Etherton said he has learned the new marker has been completed and will be scheduled for placement at Pontotoc Park in the near future. United Way of West Tennessee will partner again with... Hold on. I wondered why I didn't hear myself. There you are. Okay, let's do that again. Etherton said he has learned the new marker has been completed and will be scheduled for placement at Pontotoc Park in the near future. I'm like, what? And just delete this. And okay. Okay. United Way of West Tennessee will partner again with Parker Hannafin and Stanley Black & Decker to host Live United. Live United Week 2026 in Weakley County. From March 15th through March 20th, annual fundraising events, the barbecue luncheon, and the lawnmower giveaway will be held to support local nonprofits within the county by contributing to the Community Impact Fund. The goal is to raise $8,000 that week. United Way welcomes any donations from those unable to participate in the luncheon or giveaway. All contributions stay in-house to benefit the Weakley County Community Impact Fund. A recent project at UT Martin has added an additional layer of security to both students and staff. IT Administrator Jack. You all right there? No, I'm thinking about pancakes. Literally. IT Administrator Chad Brewer with the Office of Information Technology Services explained the project allowing the installation of new security cameras.
So it's funded through two separate security grants. Door access was a part of this as well, but these two grants funded a lot of our camera upgrades and those door access assets. I believe the final count was 169 cameras that were installed. Some of those were new locations, blind spots that weren't previously covered. Sociology building, for example, did not have any cameras, so we got cameras in there. So that's a new building that is now covered. And then a lot of them replaced dated analog technology.
Mr. Brewer said the funds provided for camera upgrades and new locations.
Analogs first, got the bulk of those out and upgraded, and then we looked at places that were not covered. The sociology building didn't have cameras, and so now the hallway throughout sociology and those entry doors now have a camera view. A few parking lots were added, a lot of parking lot cameras were upgraded, but we looked for places that were high traffic and little to no coverage and made those the priorities after upgrading the analog. So our campus is well covered. There are certainly areas that still need more coverage. I wouldn't say that everything is covered, but the majority of our, especially our high traffic areas, are well covered.
Brewer said, while the latest security upgrade was a major improvement, it was hoped additional funding provides add-ons in the future.
Like to cover. There's some more parking lots, there's some more buildings, blind spots, stairwells. I mean, the list goes on, what we could do and all. Obviously, money's always the hinge point, but we try to do what we can when we get a pot of money like this and use it as effectively as we can. And our team started planning for this in the spring of 25. We got what cameras we needed placed here, there, how much cable we needed to order and start pulling. And I want to say we pulled around 5 miles of cable over the summer, box after box of cable that we were just emptying and pulling to all these locations.
All right, this is my last one, and then I want to tell you guys about the senior citizen dance. I didn't get to really even go in like I wanted to yesterday between Night to Shine and the senior citizen dance, and I was like, what in the world? I didn't like that because I love to share with the people. So let me just finish this, and then I'll tell you guys about the senior citizen dance. Last one. Okay. A federal jury in Memphis convicted 2 members of the Memphis street gang, the Unknown Vice Lords, for the murder of a fellow gang member who they suspected of betrayal. When the gang's supreme elite chief, the leader for the entire state, was murdered in 2019, the gang sought retaliation against anyone thought to be involved. High-ranking members, 42-year-old Edward Allen and 29-year-old DeAndre Rogers, conducted their own internal investigation and came to believe that a fellow UVL member was responsible for their chief's murder. 5 days later, the implicated fellow gang member was murdered by execution at the hands of Allen and Rogers. The jury convicted the pair of causing death by use of a firearm during a racketeering murder. Sentencing is scheduled for May 11th, and both face a maximum penalty of life in prison. Okay, first things first. As I read that, right? 42 and 29 years old. I remember when we went to the Bahamas and they said, men get jobs. Men are not in gangs. Children are in gangs. And that was one of the first things that came up when I just read that age. Like, what does that even look like? I'm not judging. I'm asking. What does it look like to be a gang member at 42 years old? I don't even move the way I used to. Never mind if I was a gangbanger. Like, you can't even bang the way you used to. I'm just saying. All right, let me tell you about this senior prom. It was a Valentine's Day dance at the Senior Citizen Center. And that was Saturday night. That's where I was wearing the red dress too. I volunteered just to help serve the food and, just to be there, just to be around community for real. Because that's my thing. I could have stayed at home by myself on Valentine's Day or like found something else to do. Last year I went and got charcuterie and I worked out on Valentine's Day. Like, those are the things that I did last year. But this year I was like, you know what? They say when you don't know what to do, serve. And as far as my Valentine's Day love life, I don't know what to do. So I served. And I served like I was serving for the Lord. And it's funny because that was the sermon the next day. I already live like that. Like, it stays at the forefront of my mind. Like, do everything as unto the Lord. Like, everything, And, yeah, it was a really good time. We danced. So let me tell you, I learned how to slow dance. I'm not saying I'm the best. They told me I was a little stiff because I was like tense, like this, But I did learn, I understand now what it means to have the man lead and all of that, because he's leading you from the back. You can feel it in his hand. When they pull you forward and let you go and stuff. I didn't know that that's what that meant. So that was really cute. Oh, it was so cute. I danced with 3 gentlemen, Mr. Jim, Mr. Dick, and Mr. Robert. And we had a good time. And they just talked to me and we just danced. And we need to bring that back. And I would really like to get better at it. We actually found out that they have dance classes on Thursdays at the Senior Center. So I may be popping up at some so I can get better. And let me tell you, it was a culture shock because we got line dances in New Jersey. Like, my grandma used to do line dances, so I get it. These people had a line dance for every single song. I didn't know there was a line dance to Fireball by Pitbull. I'm sitting on the sideline like, Fireball. Ding, 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 ding. Those ladies were tearing it up. Then I had one lady, she marched over to me with purpose, okay? And she gave me 3 tips about growing up. I did not ask for these tips. I appreciate these tips. Number 1, get sleep. Sleep is important, is what she said. She said, number 2, don't let anything go too long. Like, if you're having an argument or there's a disagreement or there's ill will, don't let it go on too long. I needed to hear that. And number 3, oh, come on, Dom. Oh, number 3, the Lord provides. Be anxious for nothing is what she told me. And I'm like, well, amen. Amen. I guess I needed to hear it again. And then it's funny because last night in Bible study, again, that was a theme. Be anxious for nothing. And I'm just coming to terms with it. I'm just coming to terms with it. So that was beautiful. What else happened at that dance? Oh, I also made another friend. She's from UTM. She's a little cutie pot. So I invited her to church. She's gonna be coming to church soon, and I cannot wait to see her again, my little friend. And we'll also both be serving at the Senior Citizens Prom next month. So that'll be great. So I'll get to see my buddy. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to share about the Senior Citizens dance. It was nice. And let me tell you, like, y'all, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, they're all gonna be like old and decrepit, right? No. These people were moving, these people were lively, these people have their wits about them, like 70 years old, 72, 74, 76, like you can still get down on it. Now, what I will say is they told me, though, they did tell me, you gotta stay busy, you gotta keep working. And that's how nobody looked like their age up in there, y'all. Nobody. One of the men I danced with was 76. He was all the way good. He was a smooth operator. So, yeah. I really just enjoyed myself, and I felt very full this weekend. And I definitely caught wind that I am very much loved and very much seen and very much appreciated. So that, yeah. And then, of course, when you do something for the kingdom, you got to pay the price. So yesterday was harder than it needed to be. But that's okay. So again, tonight I'll be at UTM. Van Jones from CNN will be speaking tonight. I'm very excited, and hopefully I get an interview with him. Yeah. And in the latest news, this dress is wearing me, and it is working, yeah, girl. Working, yeah, girl. But all right. Let me finish getting this news done. I will see y'all later. I love y'all. And I hope that you have a great day. And remember, be anxious for nothing. That's what I just keep meditating on. Be anxious